Welcome 2021 Heroes to Hive students. I'm Dr. Adam Ingrao, and you have successfully registered for the 2021 Heroes to Hives program. And I'm emailing you today to update you on what to expect moving forward as we get ready for the program to launch on March 29th. So, just to recap, you all have registered for a 9-month beekeeping education program offered free to military veterans and their participating dependents through Michigan State University Extension. This program is going to take you through an entire season of beekeeping in northern climates. Now, many of you are out of state this year, and a lot of the curriculum that we have is kind of geared towards northern climate, but the general curriculum that covers biology and all of that great stuff is all going to be very applicable to all of you. We do have a couple special sections of the course that will be on overwintering in northern climates, and that's just a lecture specifically and an instructional video. But for the most part, everything that we'll be going over this year will be applicable to the places that you live. And when they're not, generally what we'll try to do is we'll try to offer some supplemental material by some of our partner universities. So it's going to be an exciting year moving forward, and we've got a lot of things going on at the program this year. Y'all have really blown the doors off of Heroes to Hives this year. And well, let's talk a little bit about that. So in a typical year, our record year was last year. We had just shy of 500 students in the program, which we thought was just incredible. At that point in time, we were the largest beekeep or the largest ag training program for military veterans in the nation. However, this year has we've seen just incredible interest in the program. And there is a lot of challenges that have gone along with this, which I'm sure some of you have realized that have tried to email me or call me. I literally have been, over the course of the last couple of weeks, have received hundreds of emails. I'm talking up towards 1,000 emails and hundreds of phone calls, which I have been calling back individually one by one. So emails as they come in and the phone calls as they come in, I'm fielding them as they come in. But many of you know it's been taking some time, and that's because of this incredible amount of enrollment that we have this year. So this year we have just over 6,000 veterans service members in the program. Little under 1,800 dependents for a grand total of just shy of 8,000 students in the program, which is just phenomenal. I cannot tell you how amazing it makes me feel to see a program that my wife and I started at our farm 5 years ago turn into this in the 6th year of the program. It is absolutely, I cannot thank you enough for your interest in this. And I guarantee you that you will get a good education out of this. We're not like a lot of other programs that are focused on training individuals to become beekeepers. We are university-based programs, and we only partner with other universities. And the reason we do that is because the education we want to offer you is the education that's coming from the nation's experts, some of the leading experts in honeybees in the United States, training you to be a good beekeeper. So you are learning from the nation's experts in this course. And I can't tell you how excited I am to bring some of my colleagues to the table from other universities this year, from the University of Minnesota's Bee Lab, from the University of Nebraska Lincoln, and from the University of Missouri's Extension Service, bringing my fellow colleagues to the table to continue to bring you that excellent education that we've been offering at Heroes to Hives for the last 5 years. So I'm really excited about you all getting trained and beginning beekeeping. But with this, we've got some growing pains that are happening as well with such large enrollment. And let's talk about that just for a moment, just so we are all on the same page. So number one, we are having to undergo a complete upgrade of our email system. MSU's email system will only allow us to email 500 students at a time. Obviously, with 8,000, I want to be able to communicate with you in a very easy manner. And so what we have had to do is we've had to move everything over to MailChimp to make sure that we can work with you all. So you will be receiving emails from Heroes to Hives, not from my email address, but rather from a MailChimp account. So make sure when you are looking through your emails that you look for something from a MailChimp account. That will be your Heroes. And obviously there'll be Heroes to Hives in the subject line, but make sure that your spam folders are not picking up our emails and that you are getting those emails at a regular pace. Now, once the course starts, the communications will become very little because once you get logged into the course, it pretty much is a self-paced thing. You just kind of go through the modules one by one. But before then, the communications will be coming through MailChimp. Okay, so we've had to upgrade the email system because we just have too many students now, and MSU's email system can't handle it. In addition, the Desire to Learn platform that we use for running the Heroes to Hives program, well, at MSU, we've never had 8,000 students on this software. So I've been working with our IT department over the last couple of weeks to determine how we are going to be able to meet the challenge of having so many students interested in this program. We figured it out. There are going to be some limitations that we have on the software itself. So some things on my end as far as the inability to run certain reports because there's just too many students in the program. But one of the big things that is going to be affecting some of you is that we are going to have to run Heroes to Hives in 2 different sections because we can only handle 4,000 participants in one section of the D2L course before things just start going haywire. So some of you will be in one section, others will be in another section. You will not be able to tell the difference on your end, but we will have, so the reason I bring this up is because there may be some instance where we might have a discussion or something like that where you may not see your spouse in the same section as you. Well, that's because of how this is going to be played out. But as far as the program goes, it's identical in both sections. So you really won't notice a difference. And I say discussions, but I shouldn't have said that because one of the limitations that we have with the amount of students is that we are not going to be able to have discussion forums within this. It's just there's way too much traffic to monitor at that point. So just note that when we get in the course and we get you logged into there, we have 2 different courses running simultaneously, essentially, is what I'm saying. But you aren't going to really notice that on your end. We are also, because of the amazing interest in this course, really going to have to fundraise pretty intensively this year, to be quite honest. We were well prepared for 1,000 students this year. And just so you know, Heroes to Hives is entirely donor funded. So alumni of the program, students of the program, supporters of the program, corporate donors, all of those individuals are who makes Heroes to Hives work and why the program is free to you. We value this program at about $1,500 for each of you. And so the fact that you're receiving this for free is because we have done a good job of fundraising to make sure that we can still offer it to you for free. But with nearly 8,000 students this year, our budget has pretty much flown out the door for this year, and we're really trying to figure out how we're going to make this work. So one of the things that we're going to be doing through the entire season, and something that if you all feel compelled to donate to, I would actively encourage you to, is we're going to be doing fundraising over the entire season. And the reason that we're doing this fundraising is because we need to upgrade our systems, like the email system we have. That now is something we have to pay for monthly. And with all of the instruction going on, one of the other things that we're going to be doing this year is we're going to be filming new instructional videos so that for those of you that are far away, some of you are in Europe, some of you are stationed in Asia right now. So for those of you that are far away, we're going to be putting together a whole new library of instructional videos that are really kind of short videos, under 20 minutes that are something management specific. So, if you wanted to look up how to do a split, I click an instructional video and boom, I've got the whole example of how to do splits. So we're working on that this year. We have 25 instructional videos as part of the existing program, but we're constantly adding new content. And so that's one of the big things that we're going to do this year, because we have so many out-of-state students, is we want to continue to develop that instructional content. So that right there, those 15 new instructional videos that we're hoping to do this year, that is the fundraiser for March 16th. And I will be sending you all an email out on that. It's what we call a crowd power campaign. It's like a crowdfunding campaign offered through MSU. So I'll be sending that out. So just note that we will be doing fundraising all year. I'll always include you all in it, but this program is free to you. And if you don't have the means, or if you don't feel compelled to donate, that's not expected of you. But if you do feel compelled, we always invite that. And it is, that is what keeps this program going, is donors. So I wanted to mention that as well. So that's a little bit of what's going on as far as us meeting the challenge with all of these great students part of the program this year. Okay, so what's going to happen moving forward? So in the next couple weeks, you're going to be receiving a few emails from me. You'll likely receive an email on the 16th reminding you of the fundraiser. The next email you will receive from me is March 22nd, and that's the Monday before the course opens up. And what we'll be emailing you on that day about is I will be emailing you the instructions on how to get your MSU username. So as part of the course and as part of the D2L platform that we utilize, you have to have an MSU username. You can't use your just regular email address that you submitted to us. But what we will use is we will use the email address you submitted to us and send you an email with instructions on how to set up an MSU username. It's a pretty simple process. Once you get your user ID, we call it a community ID, then you will be able to log into the D2L platform, and there will be instructions included in this email in detail. One thing I want to remind you of, please read the emails completely. Completely. Watch the videos I send completely and understand what I'm saying in them, because the instructions for all of this is going to be embedded in this email that I'm sending. And with 8,000 students, I can't have hundreds of students emailing me, asking me IT questions about how to do this. The instructions are very clear. And so I want you to follow those instructions. In addition, when you get those instructions, it is also going to instruct you to not contact me about IT problems. I am not an IT person. I'm an entomologist. There is a help desk at MSU that will help you with all of your IT problems related to D2L, trained staff that know how to work on this stuff that are not entomologists, but rather IT professionals. So those will be the individuals you will be contacting, and there will be instructions with all of that on the 22nd. On the 29th, that is the day that the first educational module will open up. So on the 22nd, when you log into D2L, there'll be a welcome video there, just kind of saying, hey, hi, welcome to Heroes to Hives. Here's what to expect. I'm thinking about adding maybe a couple other just fun videos to watch. We have a video on the history of Michigan beekeeping that was done by Roger Hoopengarner a few years back, which I may include in that. So there'll be a few things for you to do on the 22nd, but the 29th is when the first educational module opens up. That's where the rubber meets the road. And so that educational module will open up on the 29th. And then after that, each month after that, the educational modules will open up on the 15th of the month. So in April 15th, tax day, you're also going to get a Heroes to Hives lecture. So maybe that tax appointment won't be so bad because you'll get to come home and watch some beekeeping lectures. But that's what's going to happen for the rest of the time out, all the way through November 15th, is you'll get those every month. A new module will open up. You'll go through that entire module. You'll watch the lectures, you'll watch the instructional videos, you'll look at the supplemental materials that we offer, and then you'll take your quiz to get through that module. The quiz is 10 questions each. They're meant to be very easy, and you can take them unlimited amount of times. So we want you to pass every single section, but we are requiring that as part of the course this year. So that's what you can expect as we move forward. Now, once you get into the course, what is in the course? So as it stands right now, over 30 lectures in the course, a lot of content. This is a very robust course. It's a more robust course than most of your college level beekeeping courses. So this is like a year-long course given to you, taking you through the entire season. So it's a lot of material, and it's not material that you're just going to be able to breeze through. So those of you that are new to beekeeping, this is your opportunity to really learn how to be a good beekeeper. We're not in the business of teaching you to kill bees. And a lot of people, especially right now, I see all over the internet, everybody reporting, oh my gosh, my hives died. What killed my hives? Why are my hives dead? And the fact of the matter is that this course has been developed to teach you how to keep bees, meaning that those bees stay alive year after year, and you're able to make sustainable splits and increases in your apiary size from those overwintered colonies. So we're in the business of teaching you to be a good beekeeper. And so with that comes a lot of knowledge that we have to fill. So 30 plus lectures that you're going to receive, 25 instructional videos as it stands right now, and we are adding many more of those. Now the lectures are going to be a little bit longer, typically a half hour to an hour. The pests and pathogens lecture is almost 2 hours, but that is a big lecture, and it's an important topic. But most of them are going to be somewhere between 20 minutes and an hour. And on every D2L entry, when you go into the individual modules, it'll list how long each of these videos are. But for the most part, you're looking at somewhere around 3 lectures a month, so about 4 hours of material there, and then instructional videos. Now, the instructional videos are meant to be short and to the point. They're in the field and they're doing something. So With the instructional videos, they're typically about 5 minutes to 20 minutes. They're meant to be short. They're meant to be reference videos for you to be able to see like how to do something, like how do I release a queen, or how do I make a split, or how do I do the newspaper combination when I want to combine a weak hive with a strong hive. So we'll go through those in these instructional videos. And so you'll have probably, I'm going to guess by the end of the season, about 35 of these. We've got a few colleagues from other universities that we've been reaching out to see that we've seen videos that we really like. And so we'll be bringing some of those videos in as well. So again, you are learning from the nation's experts in honeybees. This is not Joe in his backyard. You are literally learning from faculty from the land grant universities that are training individuals to become good beekeepers and good honeybee stewards. So great expertise at your disposal in this course. Now, with these instructional videos and lectures, we're going to be covering biology very heavily. We'll cover pests and pathogens. We'll talk about habitat management. And then in those instructional videos, like I had mentioned, we'll be doing more of the practical application of this kind of theory-based lectures. All right, so that's the main course. Now, the main course, that online D2L course, that is the course. That's the entire course. So those of you that are out of state, out of Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, or Nebraska, that is a standalone course. It is a very robust course too. You're going to spend a lot of time in that course. For those of you that are in Michigan, Nebraska, Minnesota, and Missouri, we have the option for hands-on management clinics as well. These are optional. There is no expectation that you go to a hands-on clinic to receive your certificate of completion for Heroes to Hives. That's not part of the course. It is an optional portion of the course, really to give you hands-on experience and to bring us together as veterans. And it's a wonderful part of the course. But because of the volume of students that we have this year, we are going to have to limit participation in courses, mainly because we can't have more than say a couple dozen, I would say 50 at the most, people at a workshop and for it to be meaningful. If there's 200 of you around a beehive with me, 150 of you are going to see nothing and get nothing from the experience. And so we're really trying to figure out how to make this work. Now, one of the ways that we're doing that is we're adding more instructional videos so that you have the opportunity to see what we're doing in the apiary. But for this year, particularly because of COVID, workshops are going to be a little wonky. And you're just going to have to work with us on this, knowing that we are still, all of us, all 4 of these universities, still under COVID restrictions of some sort. And they're all different. So normally what would happen is when we open the course, you're going to have a syllabus in there that's going to show you everything that's coming up in the course. But normally we would include workshop dates in there. And for those of us that are in states that are still under full restriction, which right now are Minnesota and Michigan, there will not be any courses, any workshop dates announced when we open the course. And there's a reason for that. My university particularly has instructed me not to do that. Reason being is because we are on full restrictions, and we may be on full restrictions all the way through the summer. I have no idea we have no way of knowing that. That is all decisions being made at the very top echelons of each one of these universities. So you're all just going to have to be wary of that this may be in flux. And like last year, students that were part of this course last year, we had no on-ground programming because of COVID. And the reality is that may be the same this year for some of our partner states. So I know Missouri has some light restrictions right now. So those of you in Missouri may have the opportunity to do this, and we'll let you know when we open the course. We have to wait until we get to the very end because restrictions at each one of these universities are changing weekly. So we're going to wait to announce any of this. So just so you all know, it's going to be different in every state. But those of you that are not in any of these 4 states, we are not going to be allowing individuals from out of state to come to these states to do workshops. And the reason is because we have nearly 500 students in each one of these states. It's a lot of students just in one state. And again, we can't have events where there's a lot of folks. Additionally, and I should have mentioned this to begin with, there may be a registration process for workshops this year because some of the universities have limitations on how many people can actually be in one space at one time. So all that to say, please be patient with us on the workshops. We want to be in the apiary with you as bad as you want to be there. but we have no power over this situation. And we all have been in this together for the last year. We all know what this whole COVID experience is like. Please be patient with us. We want to have these on-ground experiences, but we cannot do it until COVID restrictions are lifted. And like I said, we are going to have some restrictions ourselves just based on the size of the program and how many students are in each state. So you cannot travel to any of these states to get on-ground program. The other piece of this is that many of you have reached out to me to say, hey, I'm willing to do on-ground programming in my state. I really appreciate the gesture. We partner with universities for specific reasons. And there's a lot of those reasons. But what I will say is that if you are interested in seeing Heroes to Hives in your own state, the way that you would do that and the way that you would approach us about that is you should contact your land-grant university's B Lab, talk to the individuals that are in charge of that B Lab, tell them that you would like to see Heroes to Hives in your state. You can give them my contact information and we can start the discussion as two university partners on how to bring this to your state. We do not partner with private organizations. We do not partner with nonprofit organizations. We do not partner with private landowners. None of those things are possible for us. So if you have a university connection, if you want us to see Heroes to Hives in your state, make that connection for us. And I'm happy to have those meetings. That's how every single one of these chapters are partners has panned out, is through somebody that had a connection to those universities reaching out to us. So we are actively looking for partners, but we are not looking to grow, 20 more states next year. We are doing a very slow rollout. So we will likely add a few more states next year. The subsequent year, we'll add a few more states, subsequent year, and we'll keep adding those states slowly, mainly because we have to make sure that we can meet the demand and that we're the big part of this is that I want to make sure you're getting a quality education. And by expanding across the country very quickly, there's very little ability to vet the individuals that we're partnering with and to make sure that you're getting the quality education that you've signed up for. So just note that. But big thing here, COVID is a fluid situation in 2021, just as it was with 2020. So we're just going to have to deal with that. And so I'm asking you to be patient with us on that. All right, a couple final housekeeping items. Please do not send me beekeeping questions. Okay, so this might seem counterintuitive. I'm supposed to be your beekeeping instructor, right? Well, there's a reason for this, okay? We have 8,000 students in this course. Normally, in a normal year, previous to a couple years ago, myself and my colleagues at MSU that work in apiculture would regularly get 1,000 emails a month just with questions on beekeeping. That was before the 8,000 of you joined the Heroes to Hives roster. And so the reality is that if you email me, and some of you have been emailing me recently and you're experiencing this delay, because my inbox literally receives hundreds of emails a day about beekeeping, it is very difficult for me to keep up. And so the reality is that if you email me directly, one, your email will likely get buried in hundreds of other emails. And two, those emails that come in, oftentimes I'm just trying to keep up with them, especially during the beekeeping season. In the off season, it's not like that. But during the beekeeping season, everybody wants to talk about bees. And so a couple years ago, we decided as a team at MSU, decided that we needed to address this because there were questions that were just falling through the cracks because of the volume of emails, or questions that were time sensitive that needed a response, within a few days because there was some sort of a biological event happening in a honeybee colony, where we were just missing them because of the volume of emails we get as a team. And just so you know, we are a small team at MSU of beekeeping professionals. There's literally 5 of us that work in honeybees. And out of those 5, there are 4 of us that actually work in extension. So there's really not a large number of us. So what we've done, and this is for everybody, is that we have actually started monitoring and answering questions through a national platform called extension.org. Now, what extension.org is extension.org is essentially a place where you can submit questions about anything, pretty much, related to any extension activities. So, I work in agriculture. So, honeybees, pest management, floriculture, horticulture, all sorts of areas of agriculture, any area of agriculture, you could ask a question at extension.org. And so what we do is we ask everyone that's part of in Michigan when we work with beekeepers in Michigan, but you as Heroes to Hive students as well. If you have a question, what I want you to do is I want you to submit it through this website. So this is our pollinators.msu.edu website, and this questions area will send your question directly to extension.org. So it's a shortcut because the website is a little clunky, but you're going to send your questions through here. And the nice thing about this is, because remember what I said is that when you send me an email, it just gets buried in hundreds of other emails. When you send this to extension.org, it literally notifies me through this platform that I have a question that I need to answer. And this is part of my regular job, right? Is answering these types of questions. But what this allows is, this allows me to monitor all the questions coming in and basically be able to answer them one at a time without them being buried in a bunch of minutia as far as emails are concerned. So it's a much more targeted way to get your questions answered. It's much faster on my end as far as answering the questions, and I can monitor the questions, making sure that if you have a follow-up question or something like that, that we get to it and it doesn't get missed. So this is the best way to get your questions answered. And the other nice thing about this platform, when you submit your question through here, if you're out of state, your out-of-state experts, if you're saying Oregon, then your beekeeping expert from Oregon State is going to be the one who's going to see that. So all of us as extension professionals across the United States participate in this. And so, if you have a question from Texas, then someone from A&M's Bee Lab is likely going to answer it. So it's a much better way not only to get your questions answered, but you also can get them answered by a regional expert, which is really nice. So, so this is the way that you should be sending beekeeping questions to me, is through this question form here. And it's literally, you just put a title in, put what your question is, and then send it, and it'll come right to my dashboard on extension.org. So that's the best way to get your questions answered across the country. And not only that, I'd mentioned also, if you have plant questions, if you've got questions about, some totally different part of agriculture, you can ask any of those through here, and right through this question. This is just the general question submission area for this. So you can ask any of those questions there. So lots of great things happening at extension.org. All right, so keeping up to date. So we keep our website up to date as things change, as things happen. We will be posting on there, but you all are now in the course, so you're going to be getting communications from me, but always keep that in mind, heroes2hives.com. If you have friends that you want to get enrolled in the program, also, we are taking, enrollments for 2022 right now, and we likely will be closing that very soon. We've already got, I think, 5,000 people registered for next year. Just crazy how much interest there is in beekeeping. So that'll be something to keep your mind on. We will likely be shutting that down soon and opening up 2023. So if you've got friends that want to be part of this next year, make sure they get enrolled. But that's where you're going to see that. Facebook page, we're always very active on Facebook. That's the best way to keep up to date with us. And if you need to get a hold of me, this is my contact information. Again, it's just because of the volume of calls and emails I receive, it oftentimes takes me a little while to get back to you. It is getting a little better right now. After the 2 weeks after, well, I guess it's been about 2 weeks since that email came out from the VA. It was pretty crazy, but things are slowing down now. So I think I got like 100 emails in this morning. So it's not as bad. So it may take just a few days to get back to you. But again, if it's a beekeeping question, send it through pollinators.msu.edu. If it is something other related or something specific to Heroes Hives, feel free to reach out to me. All right, so that's all I've got today. The last thing I'm going to just remind you of is that we do have the Michigan State Beekeeping Association Conference going on at the end of this week. Starts on Wednesday, runs through Saturday. If you want to learn more about that, it's a virtual conference, so you can participate from anywhere. We've got some great experts there this week coming up. All sorts of experts from all over the country coming to teach you about beekeeping. I'll be there on Saturday teaching a hive inspection lecture. And then I'll be doing a Thursday night lecture on Heroes to Hives and updating everybody on the program. As part of the Michigan Beekeepers Association Conference, I generally give an update on Heroes to Hives because it is such a big program and has been a big part of Michigan beekeeping for many years now. So look forward to seeing you all there. All right, well, welcome to the program, and I look forward to seeing you all in class here coming up soon. Keep in mind, those emails will be coming on the 22nd and the 29th. The course will open. Thanks for joining me.